What's up, fellas? What's up? Just give me a second. Taking time to set the stream. Just running a little late. So I'm just coming back from vacation and first time just powering up the PC. As you guys know, you always have that technical difficulties. So I know I said 10:30, it's 10:40 right now. So I'm just running a little behind, but give me a second as I just finish setting the stream up. Thanks for being patient. Appreciate that. But yo, this is gonna be dope. We have so much to freaking talk about, y'all. So much to talk about. So, just give me a second, fellas. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. What's up? Just give me a minute, fellas. Still trying to set this up. My stream is just acting a little crazy. I can't even, I'm having a hard time just like even finding this stream right now. So just give me a second. It like created a separate stream instead of the original one. So I'm just trying to get this fixed. Right. Let's try this real quick. All right. Cool. Okay. All right, fellas. I think I got that situated. Sorry, y'all. There we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you guys for patiently waiting. But we are going to get started. So, several things. And again, if you guys are on right now, if you guys can share this stream, really, really will appreciate it. I know some of you guys have been waiting for this. I got like 9 of you guys waiting. So, if you guys can share this, I really will appreciate it. So let's see. Experience. Let's see. Okay. Give it a little bit more time. Almost done, guys. Got like 3 more minutes. All right. Great. We are good to go. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me just take this madness off. All right. Thank you for being patient, y'all. Literally, I just got home from Seattle, put the kids to bed, turned on my laptop, my PC, about to do the stream. And as you guys know, whenever you are ready to go live to do a stream, you run up having issues. But guys, thank you for being patient. That took about, 11 minutes to set up. So I really apologize. And I already created a event page for this podcast, but for some reason that wasn't kicking off, so I had to recreate an event page, and I had 7 people waiting. So for those of you guys who were waiting, I truly apologize. But yo, let's get started. You guys have been watching those videos that I've been posting about Stadia, so I just want to say again, thank you guys for liking those videos, watching it. Seems like you guys are really interested about my experience at Pax West. So still have more videos to come on that, guys. I did a comparison. I'll talk more about that, but let's get started. I have a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, number one, my experience with actually playing Stadia, right? Playing Doom Eternal on Stadia, touching that beautiful controller, guys. So beautiful. And then talking about also my experience with Mortal Kombat 11 on Stadia. I tried both of them, and I'm gonna just tell you guys how it felt, right? And again, I like to go live with these because I get to see you guys' questions. A lot of you guys still had questions after I posted the videos about my experience, so definitely feel free to ask those questions here because I can see them and I can answer them directly. But so we're going to talk about the experience. We're going to talk about the games. The 2 games that I got to play was Mortal Kombat 11 and Doom Eternal. Just going to talk about how that felt playing it on Stadia and playing it on, on the desktop, on the Pixel on the tablet, and also on a smartphone. So I'll give you guys my experience in that. I'm going to talk about the controller, let you guys know how that felt, and as I stated before, there's going to be a comparison video coming up showing the different controllers. I have a PS4 controller, an Xbox 360 controller, an Xbox, why do I keep saying an Xbox One controller, and also I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and I put them side by side with each other and just compare the size. So you guys will get to see that in the video coming up sometime this week as well. And I will talk about the reaction of the people who was actually there, right? We have some positive reaction from people who experienced it, and then we also have those haters who definitely had some negative things to say. So we'll talk about that as well. And we'll also talk about the interviews that I got to do. Again, I covered 3 interviews, right? Which is pretty cool. And one of the interviews was about Kine, which is that instrument game that's coming to Stadia. I interviewed the creator of it, and she gave a little secret, which you guys, there's another video coming up with that interview as well. So yeah, a lot to talk about, man. This was an experience. This was definitely an experience that I will not forget. It was pretty cool interacting with a lot of people there who actually enjoyed Stadia, talking to them, getting to know them, and yeah, they're just really pumped. As you guys saw, Google. I'll talk about that too. All right, so those are the categories I'm gonna cover. So let's see, Matthew Smith, what up, man? Thanks for joining this podcast live. Smartphone like iPhone? Are you asking, did I play Stadia on an iPhone? let me know if that's a question that you are wanting to see. So to get started, let's start off by the whole experience, right? You guys saw the video that I posted giving you a tour of what that actually looks like. They didn't have it for an iPhone, but they did have it for the Google Pixel 3a phone. You guys saw the video I posted of Mortal Kombat actually running on the Pixel 3a phone. But in the interview, I did ask, when is it coming for iPhone? And the guy specifically said that it's going to be coming next year. It's like, so when next year? Is it spring? Is it fall? The guys actually have a release date. And he specifically said, I can tell you that, but just know, come next year, you're going to hear a lot about Stadia being unveiled for a lot of other platforms other than the Pixel 3a phone. So that's all he gave me in an interview. So just know it's coming next year. Just know like exact date on actually when that's going to be. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, right? So about the whole experience, right? So you walk in, it's a whole booth, right? Right in front, like you guys saw in that video, there was a Mortal Kombat section to the right and then a Doom section on the left. And they had a lot of Stadia, like security people, just making sure people weren't recording, right? You couldn't record, so you stood in line. The Mortal Kombat 11 line was so much faster because, again, it's an old game, right? So not a lot of people were there. Like, you can actually get to play that game multiple times because not a lot of people were interested in it. But the Doom line was stacked. A lot of people were there just waiting to play Doom Eternal because that, from what people were saying, that actually was one of the only places where you can actually try Doom at PAX. So people were just in line to try out Doom, not Stadia to say, but they got to try out both because they got to play Doom and Stadia. So right when you walk in, you have Mortal Kombat, you have Doom. And then if you go to the right side, they have a booth where they gave you this paper, right? And they give you like different tasks of things to do. So if you do 6 things, you get to claim like 3 rewards, right? So they had So they had a t-shirt that you can win. They had a Google Stadia bag that you can win. They had this pop socket right here that you can win. And then they had this Google Stadia pin that you can win. So by the time I got there, which was I got there at 9:30. And, I was doing things. Why am I echoing? Hold on a second. What's that echo? Anyway, so I got there and it was pretty interesting because they ran out of t-shirts really, really quickly and they ran out of bags really quickly. So I was able to get these 2, which I'm going to be doing a video where I'm going to be giving these out. So if you guys are interested, just stay tuned to that video. And I also got a Borderland mask as well, so I'm gonna be giving that as well. But yeah, so you go to this booth and they give you like different tasks to do. The first task being play a game on mobile, which the only game that was available on mobile smartphones was Mortal Kombat, and then Doom was only available on the tablet. So you had to play one of those, and then the next thing was you had to play it on like a computer screen. So that's the second thing. The third thing was you had to tweet about it. So it's pretty interesting, right? If you went on Twitter, you saw a lot of people like tweeting about PAX West and Google Stadia. That's because they told us that was one of the assignments for you to get one of these. You had to tweet about it. So I thought that was a really cool marketing thing for Google to do, because that got people like to tweet about Stadia, so the publicity is there, but also you get something cool in return for playing with Stadia. So you saw a lot of people tweeting like, oh, I just tried Stadia, oh, Stadia is good, oh, stuff like that. So again, really brilliant from Google's part to do that. So you got to tweet about it, right? You got to tweet about it. Hold on 1 second. Do you know if there will be like an online chat through Stadia, kind of like how we can have party chat? So they didn't demo that at all, and I'll talk more about that. But I did ask about the interface and the chat, and the guy specifically said we cannot comment on that right now, but stay tuned. That will be seeing more of that. He specifically said in Connect coming soon. So I think they're gonna showcase what the interface is gonna look like, and he did say they are gonna have a like friends online chat system, but he didn't specifically say anything about like having a party chat system. So that's something like he said, we're gonna have to wait and see. He didn't give me like a direct answer for that question, but that's a good question. So yeah, just to continue. So Twitter, right? If you talk about Stadia and social media, then you got one of those things. The other thing was you had to actually buy the founders pack there. So you saw people tweeting, no, I just purchased Google Stadia founders pack. And then you had to what's the fifth thing? You had to give them your email address to stay updated on Stadia. So yeah, so I took a picture of the paper that they gave me to complete all these assignments. So once you completed all that assignment, then you got these things here. So that was a pretty cool, interesting marketing tool for Google to use to get people talking about Stadia for sure. Right, so then that was the booth. If you walk to the right, then you go straight down, right? You go straight down. They had the mobile section. Again, Mortal Kombat was the only game that you can play in the Pixel. You can try Doom. So it was just Mortal Kombat for the smartphones and Doom for the tablet. So you had about like 8 different Stadia booths, 8 different Stadia stand with the Pixel phones, and it was pretty quick. People would come. There wasn't a specific time. There were like 3 Stadia people there. If you stayed for a long time, they'll tell you to move on, but I felt like people respected it. Again, I played this game 6 times on the Pixel phones, right? So the line was pretty quick. Like, you'd go play, people were respectful. When they were done, they'd just leave, and then they'll call in the next people. So again, there's like 8 of these Pixel booth, and then to the left of that, they had this big old controller. You guys have seen the big old Stadia controller, and then right to the left of that, they had this other booth where you guys saw in that video, this is share like upside down, and it's like a picture booth where you can take a picture. And that was actually another thing on that card that you had to do to get one of these prizes. So you had to take a picture. They had 2 different kinds. You can take a picture with like yourself interviewing with a Stadia microphone, or you can do this other crazy one where they have like a couch upside down and a lamp upside down and a TV to the wall, and then pretty much it's like you can play Stadia anywhere, and then you take that picture and then you can email it to yourself. I sent an email to myself, but then you also get like a print out picture of it. So that was pretty cool. And you guys saw that in the tour video of the gaming team that took a picture of it. And then right to the right of that is where you have the Doom Eternal on tablets. And again, those lines were moving pretty quickly. Not a lot of people were on there, because I didn't think like people knew that you can actually play Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal was the game that most people came there to play on Stadia. So they had the desktop version of it, which was the line. You guys saw the lines in that video. Most people stood in line to play that, but they didn't know right to the left of it you can actually play Doom Eternal on mobile. So that video that you guys saw of Doom is me actually standing way far back, but also recording on Doom, the tablet of playing Doom Eternal. So that is the Stadia booth. And like that's what the experience was. It was a great experience, man. The cool thing about it is the people standing in line to experience this stuff, they were really happy. They were positive about Stadia. You know, there's some people who just found out about Stadia by coming to Pax West, and they were like, you know, asking questions like, what is this? When's it coming out? So they were like really excited to be experiencing something brand new. So that was pretty cool to see, right? Again, so let's move to the games, right? Let's talk about the games and the experience of actually playing the games. So again, if you walk to the main booth, they had Mortal Kombat to the left, Doom to the right. Those were the two games that Google was showcasing for Stadia. And then on mobile with the smartphones, you had Doom only on the Pixel 3a phones, and then you had Mortal Kombat the Pixel 3a phones, and then you had Doom for the tablets, right? So again, I got to play Doom 5 times, right? I played it like about 2 or 3 times standing in line to play on the computer screen, and then I played it twice on the tablet. And my experience, like I said in the video, it was really smooth. Latency was not an issue. Like honestly speaking, it was like I was playing on a PS4. Like it was so smooth, no issues when it came to latency whatsoever. And to me, that was like amazing. The fact that, you know, I didn't have to, like, I didn't question, okay, is this like a cloud storage thing? It's like this was running as smooth as it would run on the PS4, Xbox One. So that was pretty cool to see. As far as did I have any lag as I was playing, you guys saw the video I made about my experience. There's only one hiccup that occurred, and it wasn't like a latency lag issue. It was actually a technical problem because, again, when playing on the computer screen, right, what was powering Stadia was actually a Google Pixel Chromebook. And so they had the Chromebook to either left or right of it, and it was plugged in via to the monitor via HDMI. So the server was actually running through the Pixel Chromebook that I had right next to the monitor. So the issue I was having was there was a connection problem with the HDMI from, sorry, 1 second. There was a connection issue that was happening from the Chromebook to the monitor. And so the guy saw it, and he came and he pretty much was like, oh, I know what's wrong. And he just like resetted it. Didn't take much time, and then boom, instantly it was fixed. And that was my only latency issue, a technical issue. On more, did you get any confirmation on more controller opinions? What do you mean by that, Jay? Tell me more about that, just so I can make sure I'm hearing your question correctly. So again, we're just talking about like latency technical issues. That was the only issue I had. But again, I don't think that was latency. I think that was a technical problem. But the cool thing, right, trying those games out, the cool thing, first of all, Doom is amazing. Doom is amazing. Like, I played the original 2016 Doom. That game was fun as hell. One of my favorite games. Yeah, so I'll answer that question, Jay. So pretty much he stated that yes, you can use an Xbox controller, you can use a PS4 controller, you can even use a Nintendo Pro controller, you can use a mouse and keyboard. But he said the advantage of using the Google Stadia controller is the fact that the Stadia controller actually runs directly to the database. So he was saying when using those other controllers, you have to worry about input lag. Yes, there's going to be input. You can use those controllers and there possibly might be input lags. But he was saying by using the Stadia controller, he said, I don't know how accurate this is, but he said you reduce the latency by about 60%. That's what he said. Just to give you a heads up, there were guys on the floor, and you guys saw in the video, that had the Stadia shirt on. Honestly speaking, these guys weren't the smartest people. I think they needed a job and they took the job. And I was asking that, like for instance, in the Mortal Kombat booth, I was just asking questions just to, see if they knew what they were talking about. So I asked the lady, so is this ever gonna come out to iPhone? Is this ever gonna come out for an iPhone? And she was just like, yeah, it's gonna be available for every phone. I was like, so an iPhone? Just like, yeah, at the iPhone too. I was like, at launch? She was like, yeah, it's gonna be available for the iPhone, for the Windows phone. Just like for the Windows phone, for the Android phones. I was like, yeah, that's not accurate. But so they weren't the smartest people. But what I actually did, and this was ballsy, because like I stated in my experience video, I couldn't meet. So for instance, if you want to really get like answers, right, you had to be a press. You had to request to talk directly to one of the big Stadia people. And so I didn't know that. So I came in there with like my microphone, with my camera, with like a list of questions from you guys to ask the Stadia team, and they were like, nope, you're not a press member, so you can't ask those questions. So again, I was at that booth for almost 4 hours, right? I checked out the other booth, but the Stadia booth was my main booth, and that's how I was able to get these videos, right? So I seriously was a pain in the behind, because I was like bugging people, right? So I would ask this person, like, who can I talk to get answers about Google Stadia? And they were like, are you press? I'm like, no, I'm not press, but I'm a YouTuber who has a YouTube. And they're like, oh, you're a YouTuber? Okay, stand right here. Just wait. They had like two doors, one to the left, one to the right, and then those were where the press would go. It's like a closed doors, and they'll get the interview and get like hands-on access to where they can record. So he was like, wait right here. When the press person's done, you can just catch them quickly and ask questions. So that's how I was able to get right to interviews. And so I would wait for one press member to leave, and then I would see him walking out. And this probably is bad for my part, but I came all the way to Seattle to get some answers for Stadia, so I took every advantage to get. But when I saw them coming out, then I went to them and I'm like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I have a lot of passionate subscribers on my channel. We have some questions for you. Do you mind just like taking 5-10 minutes? And that's how I got my interview questions. But the actual Stadia people who were in the floor with the white shirt, and you guys saw in the video, they were pretty much clueless when it came to Stadia. So anyways, about the ability to use other controllers, one of those white shirt guys was telling me, so I had to confirm that from one of the big dogs that were behind those doors. And that's the guy that gave me the answer of like the 60%, like, you reduce the latency by 60%. So that's what he said. And again, we'll have to test that out when Stadia controller actually releases. But I'll get to the controller in a bit, which was by far one of my better experience in the whole. I'll get to that. But yeah, so those were the games. Again, no latency issue. And the cool thing, something that I saw, I wish I could have recorded this, but they won't let me with the desktop portion of it. But he showed, so pretty much the monitor section part, right? Stadia was running on the Pixel book that was right next to the monitor. And so what they had was a tab. So in your Chrome browser, right? This is the closest thing I saw to an interface there. So in the Chrome browser, they had a tab like you'll see on the Chrome web browser, right? So they had a tab that stated the game that you were playing, right? So they had one tab that said Google. It was Google Stadia Experience, and then they had the second tab that had Mortal Kombat, and then third tab that had Doom Eternal. So again, when my Doom Eternal crashed, he just clicked from the Stadia Experience tab back to the Doom tab, and I saw him switch it to the Mortal Kombat tab. And as he was doing that, it was instant. So pretty much he's just opening a tab of the game. So if you want to play Mortal Kombat, you just, I guess, like through the Google experience, you can click on Mortal Kombat or Doom Eternal, and then it opens up as a tab. And then just like that, boom, you can get into that game right there and then, which I thought was pretty cool. So in just a click, he was able to get me back to Doom Eternal just like that through a Chrome web browser tab. So again, I wish I could have recorded that, but again, they wouldn't let me get my camera. But I thought it was pretty cool how just that instant boom, I was in Doom, and then he clicked on Mortal Kombat, and boom, it just started instantly, and that was pretty cool to see. So those were the two games. Again, Doom, I played the 2006 version of Doom, and honestly, like, even if this game wasn't coming out in Stadia, guys, this game is incredible. Like, I love the 2016 Doom, but what makes this one even better is this, like, platform. You can climb walls now. You can double jump and then dash twice. Like, it's already fast, but now they added like platform into it. So it's like a dance, so fast with like shooting combat, and then now you have the whole agility even faster. I was really impressed. And then with the enemies, they had like weak points now, right? So you can shoot off like an arm of the enemy, and then like that part is weak now, and then you can shoot off the other arm, so he's like armless, and then you can like shoot. There's like this scorpion guy with like a gun hanging from his back, and then you can shoot that off, and by doing so it takes the advantage of him having that weapon. So that game is just fun. Like, I'm so excited. I'm picking that up straight up day one, because that game is just simply amazing. And I think it's a good game to showcase like the latency issue, because again, I hardly experienced it except from that one hiccup. But yeah, so that was Doom. Mortal Kombat is the same old, but one thing that I really enjoyed with Mortal Kombat is just how, again, I played this on the Switch, I played it for the PS4, and the good thing is, like, I knew my characters, so I knew my combos, I knew my fatalities. Like, people were watching me play, and they're like, oh shit, like, this guy is pretty good, because I was like right up front, and they were like, yo, like, watching me play, and I was like pulling off combos. And it was a testament to people like, oh, okay, this guy is actually decent at this game and he's winning and he's like doing pretty well and he's doing like fatalities. So it's a testament that, like the combos work, the fatalities work. And, with the fatalities, you have to do like, forward, down, back buttons. So the precision is really important. And the fact that I was able to pull those off in Mortal Kombat was just pretty cool. It played just like it did for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. I didn't have any single latency issue whatsoever. So yeah, what I thought was interesting though, and I was just thinking about this as I left, is the game that they chose to display for Stadia, right? Those are two very mature games, right? And so, you had some kids there, and I was just like, are they going to permit them or let them test these games out? Because you're talking about like Mortal Kombat with like fatalities and blood and gore, and then you have Doom with, blowing like monsters' head off. And so I thought those two games it's a good game to showcase what Stadia can do when it comes to latency, but just the fact that they both were very mature games, I thought was interesting. All right, so let's move to my favorite part of this whole tour, and that is the controller. Guys, I seriously cannot stress this enough. The controller is so beautiful. Like I'm not a big controller guy, but the fact that I brought my PS4 controller, my Xbox One, and my Nintendo Switch Pro, and I put them side by side, and a video's coming up with that soon, so you guys can see that. But the size of it is actually bigger than all three of them. Like when you compare them, it's actually bigger than all three of them. Like the width side of things, right? But yeah, like it feels really good grappling that controller. Like it feels so good. The button placement is incredible. Like everything, the triggers feel really good to push. The L and R button feels really good to push. The analogs. The only issue I think I might have with it is like the D-pad. As I was playing Mortal Kombat, it wasn't as like it was kind of difficult to pull off moves with the D-pad, but apart from that though, like it was a pretty great experience. I was really blown away by how well that controller felt. And so honestly, and then the whole is like the 60% part of things, right? Like the fact that it's gonna help improve with latency 60%. I mean, that all the more like makes it even more appealing and more exciting. But it feels good, guys. It feels really good. That controller, they put in work, and like here's Google going against the big boys, the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Nintendo. And these companies like invest a lot of money, time to make sure that the controller is perfect for those consoles, those systems. And here comes Google out of nowhere, their first console. And honestly speaking, and a testament to this, you can read other people's reaction about the controller. I feel like they nailed it for the first console, man. Like, this is so cool. Like, the first console, and I honestly feel like the controller feels better than PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. It feels really good. And then they have the headphone. You guys probably know there's a headphone input jack to it. There was a screen button, and there's another button to left, and I think there's a menu button, but it's pretty basic when it comes to like button placement. Nothing there was like a Google Stadia button in the middle, but we all know that's for the Google Assistant. But yeah, the button placement was pretty plain, pretty basic. It's like anything you see in your typical controller. But guys, controllers felt really good. And again, that video is coming to where, you'll see the comparison with all three Xbox, PS4, and Nintendo Switch controller. Now, just talking about the reaction that I got from people who were there, right? So you had people who this was hilarious, right? So again, I was at the Stadia booth for almost 4 hours, right? But then I walked around. I wanted to capture some Nintendo Switch footage because we have a Switch channel, Sunnyside TV. It's always in the description. And you would just hear random people. They're talking about, what they did there and what to do at PAX, and just random people just talking smack about Stadia. It was like, what did one guy say? Oh, that Google Stadia is here. And one guy was like, I'm not even gonna bother. It's something about like that thing sucks and it's gonna fail. And it's like, man, you guys, what up, Stadia Force? It's like, yo, it's right there. Go try it for yourself. Like, don't bash it. You're Pax West. Stadia's right there. Instead of just like going by what your favorite YouTuber who's been bashing Stadia is saying, go test it out. Like, I almost just want to say that to the guys, but you heard that all around, like people, just even at PAX West, just talking so negatively about Stadia. And I almost just want to be like, yo, Stadia's right there. Go try it. But, I should have done that. Why didn't I do that? I guess I was too busy just trying to capture as many footage as possible. But I just thought it was interesting. But what was cool was those people who were actually in the Stadia booth wanting to test out Stadia, they were having an incredible time. And like I stated, there's this guy who just found out about Stadia that day. And he was like, what is this? Just asking questions, very passionate. And then once he figured out, he didn't even know Google made Stadia. And so once he figured it out, like, okay, like this is not just an on live kind of thing. This is a big tech company, launching a new, so he just like started taking pictures, like, oh, let me get this picture, let me get that picture. And so like he just got excited because the name behind it made him more excited about it, which was pretty interesting. But again, for the people who were actually in the Stadia booth trying this out, they had nothing but like positive things to say about Stadia, which personally I thought was awesome. Really awesome. People's main concern is latency. Stadia Force, that's a big concern, but I do have to tell you from my experience, bro, like I did not experience any latency whatsoever. And again, I tried Doom 5 times and I tried Mortal Kombat 6 times. And no latency. And I tried it on the desktop, I tried it on the smartphone, and I tried it on the tablet, and I did not experience any latency whatsoever from any of them. So that is testament on its own that it works. And then people at PAX West too, they've talked about it, and not a lot of people are having latency issues whatsoever. AJ says these people will never be happy. Best to just yeah, I felt that way in a way. Just there's some people who again, they weren't even in the Stadia booth, but they were just like talking smack about Stadia, man. It was insane. It was insane. Again, I should have just been like, yo, go try it. But get this, I met one person in the Stadia booth who knew me, and well, I don't know if he knew it, but he knew about actually he did know me because like, hey, aren't you the guy from Cloud? His name was Brian. I don't know if you are on here, Brian, but he was like, yo, aren't you the guy from Cloud Gaming X? I was like, oh shoot, like what? Like, this is cool. So it was pretty cool to like meet a fan or a sub or a fan from PAX West. So that was cool. I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, so that was the reaction. The people in the booth were actually very positive about Stadia, but then you had all these naysayers just walking, talking smash crap about Stadia for sure. Don't forget, guys, if you guys are watching, please hit that like button. It's really helpful. And I'm going to be giving away some of these too. The cool things. It's a pop socket, Stadia pop socket, and a pin. And if I can find it, Borderlands 3 mask. And I have some keychains that I got from there as well, so I'll be giving those away. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely stay tuned for the video coming up and how to win that. But yeah, so that was the reaction that I got from people that were there. So I talked about the interviews that I did, and again, videos will be coming out about that throughout the week. But again, I did 3 interviews. And I just did not interview the Stadia people with white shirt because I felt like they were so clueless when I was talking to them. They were there, doing the job. Was that the first time someone recognized? I think so, right? I think so. Sonny just went to an event, I think last month. I wonder if anyone recognized him too. But yeah, that was, I would say, I think so. Yeah, but that was pretty cool to see. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool to see. And then talking about interviews, right? Just saying you're a YouTuber, being able to like pull up your channel. I feel like people take you more seriously, because you have like evidence. So like again, I did 3 interviews. 2 was from the high up Googlers, if you want to call them that, and then 1 was from the lady that made Kind and Kind, however you say that musical game that's coming out to Stadia. But again, just I was like, I'm a YouTuber. Again, I was waiting for the guy. He was in his booth. I was waiting for him to finish with one of the press. One of the white shirts told me to wait to catch him, so I did. And then it was pretty interesting because are there any other Stadia YouTube channels? I feel like there's others for sure. There's what are the names? This one that just started called I'm drawing a blank. Just Generation Stadia that just started about like last week. He actually has some pretty good content on if you haven't checked him out yet. Generation Stadia is another YouTuber. He started about last week. But I really enjoy his content. It's really good. So check him out. This Stadia squad that started about 2 weeks or a month ago, I can't remember, but they are actually one of the best. I have to say, one of the best Stadia channel is Stadia Cast. If you haven't watched this stuff, they do podcasts, but the podcasts are really good, guys. So if you haven't checked out Stadia Cast, definitely do. Just YouTube it, Stadia Cast. They have a really, really good podcast. So yeah, check out Stadia Cast if you haven't yet. So those are the YouTubers that I know that are covering Stadia. Again, what I love shining positive light on Stadia. So yeah, like this is, I would shout out YouTubers who are covering Stadia in a positive light for sure. So I can talk about all this other negative big YouTubers, but you guys can catch them on my reaction videos. But for people who talk positively about Stadia, I definitely like to shout them out for sure. So those 3, I think, is Generation Stadia that just started about a week ago, and then there's Stadia Cast, which focuses on podcasts, and I feel like that's one of the better Stadia channels on YouTube. The podcasts are incredible. I really enjoy watching them. And then there's Stadia Crowd, and they just started about a month ago, and they're pretty good too. They need more content though. If you guys ever watched that, man, you guys gotta up your content game, man. But I like what you guys are doing over there. All right, so we'll continue with the interviews, but you guys have some questions here, so I'm gonna cover that in a bit. Are there any other YouTube channels? Feel like okay, answer that. I'm in Glasgow, and the nearest Google Stadia is in London, which is about 500 miles away. So of course, I'm going to have. I feel you. But if the Stadia controller is what they say it is, to where it eliminates the latency by 60%, that might help. People were asking. Somebody said, in one of the comments, "Oh, I wish I went there with my keyboard and mouse." I think it's cool, right, that you can play games with keyboard and mouse. But honestly speaking, I feel like if you play Stadia with anything other than the Stadia controller, be expecting a little latency. Just being real. I think they created that Stadia controller in mind to seriously cut down the latency. So, yeah, just know that you might possibly experience some latency if you want to play Stadia with a mouse and keyboard. But it's pretty cool to know that they have that option. Not gonna lie. Hi AJ, yeah, you're welcome, man. I like to shout out YouTubers who are shedding positive light on Stadia for sure. But can it run Crysis? That's a great. It can run Doom Eternal pretty well. So I like that question. That's what the PC Master Race people ask. If it can handle Crysis, then you know you got a pretty good rig. But I think from what I've seen with Doom, Stadia will eat Crysis, man. Just being real. Just being real. Alright, so back to the interview portion things, right? I had to wait, right, until the big Googlers were done with the press conference, because again, I wasn't press. But the good thing is I signed up to be a press, so next time I go to this event, I actually will get an official interview. So that's really exciting, right? But so I had to wait, and I had to like sneak and catch them before they saw the next press member. And so what I did was like, yeah, can I get like 5 minutes of your time? It's like, I have a YouTube channel, these people passionate, there's a lot of questions, we just want to shed more positive light in Stadia. And it's like, all right, here's the deal. Because you're not a press member, I can't give you like, this is what this says specific. I can't give you stuff that you don't already know. And so he was just like, I can try my best to give you some, exciting content, but I can't tell you things that you probably don't already know. So a lot of the questions I was asking them, they were just like, I can't tell you that, I can't say that. But actually, I was gonna make a video about this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the 3 interviews in 3 different videos, but I'll just tell you some of the things that was said. And again, you guys, this is an hour podcast, so for the people watching on here, you guys will get some juicy details, but the videos is gonna break it down a little bit. But what he said about the first party studio was pretty interesting, right? I was like, so you guys just announced you guys have a first party studio led by Jade Raymond, and I was like, most generations, like most new consoles, what sells exclusives, right, are the first party exclusive titles. So it's like, what are you guys doing to combat that with Stadia? And so he was like, I can tell you that. So I pushed hard. I was like, all right, we know, I was like, you guys have, again, he said, I can mostly tell you stuff that you already know. So I kind of like role reverse. I was like, we know that Jade Raymond, you guys have a first party studio led by Jade Raymond and da da da. And so I was like, can you just tell me, right, are we going to see anything from that studio come lunchtime? And he was like, just to let you know, there wouldn't be any exclusive titles from that team during lunchtime. But he went on to say that that team was formed a while ago, right? And they are actually working on building exclusive titles that will utilize the features of Stadia. But he was saying that we're not gonna see any exclusive launch titles from that first party team come Stadia launch, which I thought was pretty interesting. So we, based on what he said, are not gonna see any exclusive launch titles from the first party studio, which is kind of a bummer because he said they've been working on like exclusive content, exclusive titles for a while now. And so, I was like, didn't this studio just form? He was like, no, Google's been working on it. But he said that they put Har as the face of it just recently. But he was saying like behind the scenes though, they've been working on exclusive titles for Stadia. So again, I was gonna make that into like something juicy for video, but that's what he stated. So people who are expecting like a Stadia Connect where they just blow us out with exclusive content come lunch, based on what he said, I don't think we're gonna be seeing that. So that my second interview was I interviewed the she's so awesome. Her name is Gwen. And I shouted her out on Twitter and she liked it. So thanks for shouting out a little YouTuber Twitter person. But she's really cool. So I was kind of scarred, and I'll post the video later on this week, but I was kind of scarred by Google Stadia just being so restricted on recording. And it wasn't just Stadia. Like I went to the Nintendo booth and they were very strict about like what you can record. So I went like with the mindset at PAX of like, oh shoot, like I better just put my camera away. Like I can't record anything. I have to be kind of sneaky. They should have had exclusive ready for launch. I agree. Which tells me that I don't think I think they're trying to cover face by saying they've been working on this for a real long time, and Jade Raymond is the face of it. That doesn't make sense, because if you've been working on this and Phil Harrison's leading this company who has worked for Microsoft, Atari, and Sony, you should know like exclusives are what sells consoles, right? So you should have the exclusive ready for launch. Two things that tells me, one, that Stadia probably was not supposed to launch this year. Again, the base model comes out next year. I think come next year we'll see those exclusives. But I think this is more of like a benefit. This is more of like a beta, right? To just get. I feel like having this available this year puts them above anybody else trying to do what they do. Because again, Microsoft's still trying to figure this out. Amazon was rumored to be working on a cloud gaming, and you have Walmart even talking about it. But the fact that they are launching this year, they're one of the first people to do it, and you have like Nvidia with Geforce, only God knows when they're gonna get out of beta. But that tells me one thing, that that wasn't supposed to launch this year, but based on competition, based on wanting to be like one of the first people out there, they put in the founders pack early, right? Second thing is, like, did they just farm this studio, right? If they don't have launches, exclusive games, did they really just form the studio, or when he said it's been available for quite some time, is that true or not? So that doesn't sound. If you've been working exclusive, Phil Harrison knows that you should have those ready at launch. Launch is what moves. Anyway, maybe Stadia was officially supposed to release next year, and they want to get ahead of the game, and that's why they launching the Founders Pack without exclusives. That's just my thought. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but those are the two things that stood out to me. The fact that they don't have exclusives right now, which personally I think is crazy. All right, so here's I'm gonna get back to the interview, but something that Stadia is one of those things that if they do anything wrong, people are going to blast the living daylight out of it. Already people are blasting it in a negative way. So Google actually has a lot of pressure right now, right? So imagine if Stadia launches and they have some serious, and this happens, right? We know that this happens with most online games. You know, when the Division 1 launched, it was cluster F of an experience, right? You couldn't play for a while. You can, like most Destiny 1, when it launched, it was terrible, right? So this being a cloud storage based system, like they cannot mess up this launch, because honestly speaking, if they do, the press are going to be on this in a negative way. YouTubers are going to be on this in a negative way. So I feel like Google has a lot riding on the launch and the success of this Stadia platform, because one bad taste, if Stadia comes out and it's like everything Google hyped it up to be, best believe like a lot of people are going to be talking about it. But if there's any slight disadvantage or any slight screw up, oh my goodness, it's going to be it's going to look really bad. I'm just being real. Stadia must work brilliant, else developers won't be making any games for the platform. I don't think it's more, I think developers are sold on it. I mean, the thing with Stadia, honestly speaking, is that it has features that developers are actually excited to make games for the platform. I don't think it's more of the developers' part. You know, like you see the interviews, they talk about like being a little skeptical about it, but once you know they've tried it, they say okay, it works. So once they see the technology works, they don't mind putting the games on it. I think personally, the big thing is just the public, the press, just blasting Stadia if it messes up. I think that's what Google has, because a bad press, a bad publicity, you guys know how quick word of mouth moves things, right? If your product is hot, if people talking about it, I mean, word of mouth is what helped the Nintendo Wii move faster than anything we've seen. Like on Thanksgiving, right? People played it, grandparents played it, mother, father, kids played it. Like they told their aunties, their cousins, and and it just word of mouth was kind of what moved that system. So having a negative word of mouth from Stadia, man, that will kill this faster than anything. So Google has a lot of pressure with the launch of this console, because if it messes up, man, it's not gonna be good. But if they can knock it out of the park, have a successful launch, people are going to be talking about that. I can imagine lunch is going to be shit. So yeah, everyone's going to act like lunch is in gunplay. Yeah. If a game crash, it's like PC game has never. Yep. The standards are going to be so high for these people, but Stadia again, man, they're going to have. Yeah, they got to knock this one out of the park. There's no room for error, seriously. And I hate to say that, but I mean, the system's not been out, and you have all these press talking negatively about it. You don't want to give them more ammo to bash Stadia. Anyway, so back to the interview. I interviewed, her name is Gwen. She's the maker of Kine or Kin, however you say that musical instrument game. And so pretty much, again, I was I was afraid to record because every place pretty much at PAX was like, you can't record this. Like, hide your camera. You can't record this. Like, I actually was asked to delete about 3 videos in the Stadia booth. That's why, like, I backed away and tried to zoom in, right, to record Doom Eternal and Mortal Kombat in the smartphone, because they saw me and I was like sweating trying to record these videos, because they literally will come to you and make you delete those videos. So I actually accidentally deleted a Nintendo Switch video that I recorded because I was like so nervous when one guy came up to me and was like, you need to delete that. So it's like delete, and then I exited. So anyway, so I was just like really afraid to record anything. So I found the Kind booth. It's so cute, like a little booth. And I was like, oh, I know this game. It was just announced at the latest Stadia Connect. So so I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me ask about like Kind coming out for Stadia. So I started. So what I did, right? I like stealth recorded. So I hit the record button, and I like hid my camera. Like, so I crossed my arm. I hid my camera like under my arm, and then I was like talking to her, trying to like record her voice. And so you guys will see this video. And so I was like asking her questions and about like why Stadia, why, did she decide to bring this to Stadia? And then at the end of the interview, I'll tell you what she said, by the way, which is really cool. But at the end of the interview, I was like, you're really cool. I was like, thank you. And she was like, I'm the creator of this game. I thought it was just like a work of the company just there, but she was like, no, I'm the creator. And again, I shout her out on Twitter, and she actually had, liked it, which is really cool. So I think she remembers me anyway. So again, stealth record, and then at the end I was like, you're really cool. I was like, thank you for taking time to do this. And I just asked, do you mind if I can interview you? And she's like, yeah, of course, sure. And so I spent like 5 minutes stealth hiding my phone, and she gave me some like juicy info, which I wish I could have just like, maybe though, if I would have like put the camera in her face, she wouldn't tell me what she said. But yeah, so later on, I just like brought the camera out and I recorded her for like, 2 minutes or so, just talking about the game and just what her role was. And you guys will see that coming soon this week. But yeah, I was that Pax West just had me nervous, man. Like, I was like nervous to pull out my camera. I was like, I don't want to get the videos deleted. But anyway, she was really cool. So this is what she said in the interview. She said, I was trying to get more info from her, and you guys will hear it. But she stated that Kind is the smallest game coming out to Stadia. And she was like, there's so many games coming to Stadia, and she's like, you guys think you've seen it, but Google has more to announce. And she was like, she was so honored that Google actually showcased her game in the latest Connect, and she was just like, my game, honestly, based on the list that she saw, her game was the smallest game on that list. And she's like, you guys are in for a treat when it comes to the games that Google are going to announce soon. So she's pretty much saying we haven't seen all the games that they have in store. More games are coming, and her game is the smallest. And the way she made it sounds like more AAA games are going to be announced. And I think that's where we're going to see things like Rockstar, Red Dead Redemption 2 possibly coming. Call of Duty's possibly coming. I think those big heavy hitters are going to be coming to Stadia pretty soon. But that's what she said. And I actually asked, and you hear in the interview, I was like, can you tell me what those games are? She's like, no, I can tell you that. But yeah, she was really cool, and I appreciate the fact that, she even decided to do an interview with me and also give me that little juicy info. But yeah, can't you just recover videos from your recent deleted? No, I can't actually, and I tried to do that, and I couldn't. That's a good question, Seth. I actually tried. I actually went on Google and I Googled if I can, and I was working at it the night of when I went, and I couldn't recover it. Like a real G recon without no one. Yo, it was scary, man. It was really scary. I was just like, I don't want any more videos deleted, man. Yo, Johnny Live, what's up? But yeah, so, and then my last interview was another Google guy. He was in the other booth, so there's two booths where the press was going into. And so because I got the first interview, I was like, I'm not going to bother that guy again. So I waited for the other guy to come out of the booth. And pretty much he said the same thing. He was the guy that I asked about the iPhone. When is it going to be released for iPhone? And will Resident Evil be coming? They didn't announce, but we haven't really heard much from Capcom Stadia. But I feel like once, they start release, once they announce that partnership, we'll see. Because Resident Evil 2 is not exclusive to any console, right? So that remake can possibly come out for the Stadia platform. It's out for PC and Xbox. I feel like games that are exclusive to consoles are games that we won't be seeing. Are y'all playing Yo, I'm gonna, if it comes out for Geforce Now, I definitely will be getting it for sure. The cool thing about Gears 5 is available on PC and Windows, so it's actually in Steam. And so if it's on Steam, it means that it should work on Geforce Now. So, but you guys know how Nvidia is with Geforce Now. Sometimes it takes a minute to see to see games on there. So if it releases day one, I will definitely be streaming it on this channel for sure. If Stadia doesn't perform the way it should in November, the internet will explode for sure. They have zero room for error, which is kind of sad, but that's the reality, man. One mess up will get the press just talking so much trash about it. I've been playing WoW Classic, and the only thing that so my game PC, yeah, they can definitely bring that to Stadia, but we'll see. I know Sunny, my partner in this channel, he's been playing that too, so maybe you guys can connect with that game. What about games on other platforms? So the second guy interviewed said that he said he was aware that the Stadia community is interested in getting Steam games on Stadia, and he said they're looking into it, and he said that as of this moment he doesn't have anything planned or anything to share, but he said just know that we are definitely looking into it, and he said they want to make the Stadia community happy. So features that, so the other thing, so he was saying they want to make the Stadia community happy, and he was like, features that people are requesting, they're looking into. But so I was like, so what are you guys doing about these, negative YouTubers, man, that just are bashing Stadia? It's like all they do is like just complain and fight negative things to say. And this is what he said. He said, we hear, this was interesting because I expected him to like kind of bash him, but he's like, you would listen to that, right? He's like, they have concern that Stadia is not going to be successful, and we see it as an opportunity to reach more people. And so he was like, we hear what they're saying, we listen into what they're saying, and we're gonna try to make the best service to meet everyone's need. And the other question that I asked, I was like, so who are your direct competitors? Do you guys see the console generation as what about my internet? You can post that. I don't know how to help you there, Sean. I'm ready to kick butt, but what about Game Zone? Alright, so I hope I answered that. But so yes, I was like, who are your direct competitors? So it's like, is when it comes to like consoles, are you guys in direct competition with Microsoft, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch? And he said that so he was like, Stadia is new to the console market, and he was like, I don't technically see them as competitors. I see us as a different platform. We want to make our service available to the masses, not just limited. And he was saying the advantage of Stadia is the fact that it has potential to grow faster and more than any of the other consoles, because pretty much you're not limited to a box. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Like the fact that, seriously, think about it, like when they release it on all the smartphones, right, you'll be able to pretty much play Stadia anywhere. So the truth of the matter is you're not limited to a console. So I thought that was brilliant. Like that, the adoption rate of Stadia can actually, especially like when the free model comes out, the adoption rate can be a lot faster, right, compared to other consoles. Because you think about like the free version, right? You have an iPhone, Stadia supporting the iPhone. All you have to do is just download the app and you can play Stadia without having to pay for monthly fee, without having to pay for a console. You have access to Stadia. So think about the adoption rate. You don't have to go buy a $400 console. All you have to do is just purchase the game, and when the free version comes out, you can just play that game right there and then. It's actually brilliant. And so yeah, that's what he was saying. He doesn't view them as direct competitors, but he sees Stadia as having a huge advantage, when it comes to adoption rate. But so yeah, let's see. Will it have touch controls? Stadia does not have touch controls from what is. So I was like trying so hard to get a look at the interface. I was holding the Stadia button. I was like pushing everything, right? And the controls, trying to like break something. This might sound so bad, and I hope like no one from the city, but I was trying to get some, right? Like something we've never seen, so I can like show you guys. And I was like trying to like press start and select, in the olden days, like you press start and select in your game, and like that. Anyway, I was like trying everything and nothing. I couldn't get. The only thing I got that I talked to you guys about earlier was the fact that they showed the games running on tabs. Like they had Mortal Kombat in the Chrome browser, Mortal Kombat in one tab, Doom Eternal in the other, and something called the Stadia Experience in another tab. So yeah, that was like the only interface-ish kind of looking thing that I got out of that whole experience. How many data centers or servers handle a big amount of people? I don't know the answer to that question. I wish I did, but I don't know. So say Stadia gets up to PS4. Honestly speaking, Stadia Force, I think that like what this Google has said about the adoption rate, I think one Stadia, if you look at most of Google's app, they really pride themselves on hitting that 1 billion user, right? You look at Google Maps, 1 billion user. You look at Google Search, 1 billion user. When it comes to like app downloads, I feel like if that's the approach that Google is taking with Stadia, with the free version, being able to run on any smartphone, on any device, I feel like potentially that service can hit that 1 billion user mark. Now, just imagine the possibility of 1 billion people downloading the Stadia free app, the one that you don't have to pay for, which I think is good enough for most people, right? Think about how many users then forget, like, the console market, Sony market, they're looking at the 100 million, users. Like Google is like, I feel like they're thinking like past that, above that. Think about like 1 billion people downloading the free Stadia app and having access to Stadia. Number one, it would be great for the consumers. Number two, it would be great for the game developers. They have access to 1 billion people buying the games. Like that's more than 100 million, and that's like the most successful console reach. I mean, I don't think Microsoft, any of the consoles, has ever reached 100 million. I think Sony, except from the PS3, most of the consoles have broke the 100 million, and I think the Wii was just close to it, and I think the Switch is gonna hit it for Nintendo, but most consoles don't hit that mark except from Sony. But yeah, think about like the billions, and I feel like what does Google has said about the adoption rate, that's what they're trying to shoot for, instead of just like selling 100 million. I mean, honestly, I feel like Google, someone was asking the question of like, they think Google is doing the free version to get people to upgrade to the main version, the pay. I feel like that's not how Google operates. The way Google operates is making the app free and getting it into as many people's hands as possible. And I feel like Google is more focused on the free. They're going to be more focused on the free one than, yes, you have people paying money for the pro. But the reality is, if you can get Stadia in as many people's hands as possible, it'll be beneficial for the consumers, and it'll also be beneficial for the developers, because this is 1 billion people that can buy your games. And I feel like that's the approach that they're actually focusing on with Stadia, from what he said at least. They'll make more money back on the games. Exactly. So, and something people fail to realize is the bigger picture of Stadia, and this guy said it too, the guy I was interviewing. It's YouTube, right? Just hold on a second. Just being able to, again, I made a video about this, how YouTube, more people coming to YouTube to watch video game content than they do on Steam, but yet in the video game division, Steam makes more money than YouTube, right? I think Google is trying to capitalize on that. YouTube is a big company to YouTube. Yeah, Google owns YouTube, but YouTube is big as far as like advertising revenue. And there's a lot of competition coming up, like Mixer with the whole Ninja thing, Microsoft owning that, and then, stuff that's going on with Twitch. YouTube wants to stay relevant. And I feel like the bigger picture of Stadia is for Google to capitalize on those people coming on YouTube to watch games. And it's so interesting, like seeing all these YouTubers bash Stadia. You're like biting the hand that feeds you, right? Especially like these gamers that have YouTube channels. Google is pretty much trying to make a service for you guys to increase, number one, revenue, but to make it easy for you guys to interact with your subs. And you guys are like bashing them, the people that are paying you to do what you do, and the people that are trying to make it easier for you. They're trying to prevent people from going to Twitch and streaming there. And so I feel like once Stadia releases, these YouTubers are gonna, I'm gonna be laughing because, a lot of them are saying they're bashing it, which is telling me they're not gonna get the Founders Edition, right? So when they sell out, and then Google Stadia becomes available in November, and they cannot get access to the perks of being a YouTuber and having Stadia, I feel like they're gonna be kicking themselves in the foot. Anyway, that's just my thing. How will mics work with Stadia? So it's just like the PS4 controller. It has an auxiliary port in the bottom that you just plug your microphone in. I plug in the headphones with microphone. You can just use that to shot. I have a video coming up comparing the controllers. Thank you guys. Hit that like button, please. Really is helpful. But I have a video coming up that showcase the Xbox One controller, the PS4 controller, this Nintendo Switch Pro controller side by side with the Stadia controller, and you guys will see what it looks like side by side, and you guys will be able to see I do like an overview. Again, so with this video, let me just tell you guys about this video, right? Again, I was trying to be stealth with recording, right? They didn't let me record anything. So again, I was at that booth for 4 hours. I was trying to milk every single scenario and possibility I can find, right? So so the back booth with the Pixel phones with Mortal Kombat on them, I noticed that somebody went on break and they got a new lady in there. And this was the lady that was talking about, I was asking her about the iPhones, and this might sound bad, and forgive me if you ever watch this, right? But I was asking her about the iPhone, and I noticed she was just so clueless. She was like, Google is gonna release Stadia on every phone, Windows phone, iPhone, and Android phones. I was like, that's false. I was like, she does not know what she's talking about, so she seems kind of new. This might sound bad, but I was like, I'm gonna try and take advantage of this scenario because, like I paid good money to come to the show to get coverage and Stadia, and they wouldn't let me. So I was like, I'm gonna try and take advantage of this. So I came. This was like the 5th time. Why you guys? I'm sorry, guys. This might sound evil, but I paid money to come to this to get content for you guys, and I felt like I was just getting restricted. So I had to try and be creative on how I got this content, right? So I know this she was new. I know that she was kind of clueless. So I came to her, and for some reason, not a lot of people were there. So I was like, I asked because I need an answer. I was hoping she would say yes because she was new, but she's like, no, you can't record. So I was like, can I record? I'm a YouTuber. Can I record footage of Mortal Kombat? And she was like, no. But then she was like, but you can compare, but you can record the controllers. I said, what? She's like, yeah, you can record the controllers. I don't think I was supposed to do this. But she was like, yeah, you can record what the controller looks like. So I was like, shoot. So I opened up my bag, got my camera out, got the controllers, and this was so interesting. Like, again, I was trying to be stealth, but I was like recording the controllers, and I noticed the white shirt people started coming. So you guys will see I was trying to be really, really quick with it. So I was like, I took out the PS4 controller, put it side by side, like quickly recorded it, put it in my backpack, took out the Xbox One controller, put it next to the Stadia controller, like quickly recorded it, put it in my backpack. But then she was like watching, and again the white shirt people started coming, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta be fast. So I then did the Pro controller, put it in, it's like, all right, thank you. And I just like booted it out of there. I was like thinking they would chase me down and tell me to like delete the video, because again I think she was new, and then the other the others, I feel like they were coming, and they told me to again delete 3 videos. So I was like, I'm not gonna risk this. So I was like, all right, thank you, and I just like left quickly. But I did get the footage, guys, just comparing the controllers side by side. But I was like, oh my goodness, I got something. I felt so bad, but I was like, I have to do it. You guys want these content. So I gotta get it. But yeah, I was that annoying guy at the Stadia booth. For those of them watching right now, they probably know who I am. But guys, I drove all the way to Seattle, a 4 almost 5 hour drive for this event. Pay money to get in. Best believe I'm gonna get some Stadia content, man. I felt I wouldn't have to do all of this if the press would have just took me in, right? But I'm covered for next show. I got the press certification now, so hopefully I wouldn't have to go through all of this just to get content. But had to do what I had to do. But yeah. Men are always taking oh gosh. Men are always taking advantage of women. Honestly speaking, it wasn't the fact that she was a woman. I try not to do that. It was the fact that she was new. If it was a guy and he was new and didn't know what he was talking about, I probably would have done the same thing. But anyway, I got the video. Why you got hold up the control on the screen? I didn't take the Stadia controller. I took pictures of it, man. I don't have the controller here. They had that securely locked, man. Stadia Spy. Upload the vid to cloud and delete the video and device. Ooh, I like that, Gross. I like that. But the Wi-Fi connection sucked there. And so trying to upload that video to the cloud just probably wouldn't have worked. But that's brilliant, though. I think that's pretty bad. They were trying to sell a stream service to us we don't know much about, but they go and not letting people. I was talking to one of the Stadia guys. I was like, here I am, right? You have all these YouTubers bashing Stadia. You have even the press that you let in come in and experience this. They're probably gonna write some crappy review. Actually, some of them lately have been posting some really cool stuff about Stadia, so you guys have seen that. But those are press that Google, they pretty much did exactly what I was trying to do. Google let them in, they record. That's what I wanted to do, but they wouldn't let me, so I had to kind of be creative. But I was like, here I am with a channel that's Stadia positive, trying to get content to help you guys out, and you guys are not even about it, but anyway, I found ways around to get get the content, man. And so we got some stuff, got some interviews, got some footage, got some controller comparisons. So I didn't leave empty-handed, man. I worked for that, man. I worked for that. But anyway, PAX was really, really exciting. We'll be back. I already talked to my partner Sunny. We'll definitely be back next year. I think it's actually a fun time because you have E3 that happens around May, June, and then you have Gamescom, which is the biggest gaming event. I think it's in Germany, and right after Gamescom is Pax West. And honestly speaking, people like, how did you know Stadia was going to be here? Because I remember last year it was the same thing, right? Pretty much Pax West is a smaller hold on one second. Talking for almost an hour and a half, man, my throat. But Pax West is a smaller version of Gamescom, right? So when I saw that Google was going to be a game, I honestly didn't know that Mortal Kombat and Doom was going to be playable. I thought I saw they were going to have a booth, but then I remember last year that most companies who attended Gamescom, they went right to Pax West with the same booth and displayed the same thing. So I was like, well, if Google was at Gamescom and if they had those games playable in the booth, I was like, they are probably going to have it playable. Excuse Sorry, excuse me. They're going to have it playable at Pax West. So I was like, it's in Seattle. It's 4.5 hours. I'm going to drive. I'm going to get my tickets. I had to get my tickets from StubHub because Saturday was completely sold out. The only thing available was Monday. So I had to get my ticket in StubHub. Went, with the hope of Stadia being there, and it was there. And so I was like, I ain't drive almost 5 hours, paid all this money for a ticket not to get content, but I got it. So can't be mad at that. I think that's pretty bad. They're trying to sell. Yeah. Will it have too many people making videos on YouTube? That's a good question. And I don't know. The good thing is, if the content creators start, here's what I envision with Stadia, right? I feel like Stadia is going to get more streamers streaming on YouTube. I feel like that's why Stadia kind of exists. So Twitch is going to have their own thing still, but I feel like instead of people going to creators going to Twitch to stream, they're going to sit their butt right on YouTube with Stadia, right? I feel like Google is going to have exclusive content with Stadia and YouTube to prevent other people from going elsewhere to stream. Like, there are some creators who go specifically to stream, leave YouTube to stream on Twitter, because Twitter has some features that YouTube doesn't have. Anyway, I think Stadia is going to offer that thing that makes YouTubers say, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to stream here. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a YouTuber and you bash in Stadia and you are a streamer and you cover like game, you're honestly a fool. Like, you're a fool, because Google's here trying to make it easy for you to stay on this platform to benefit. And best believe, how the YouTube algorithm works, that Google is probably gonna push people who stream on here with Stadia. Just being real, they want this to succeed. They want to keep people on YouTube instead of having them go to Twitch, or Mixer. So yeah, I think we're gonna see people stream more on YouTube once Stadia becomes available, and I think that's a good thing. It's a good way to shed, light. I think, how cool would it be when you see someone streaming the game, no matter who it is, to know that with a click of a button, you can immediately just jump in, like, on that game that they're playing, right? So I feel like the end goal would be anyone who's streaming, you can just simply click on that link and join the game. Or you can see like a highlight or a place where, they're stuck, and then you can quickly just jump in there and help them out. Be pretty cool. Okay, he plays mostly first bench, so he would notice any input, but he didn't. I think, who are you talking about? Stadia Force? So, what's Google's original third person shooter? I don't think they've announced it. Again, like I said, the Google that interview said that we shouldn't expect any exclusive games from Google this year. Drifter. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, people again have nothing but positive experience with Stadia. They have to have one. I feel like they will, but we probably wouldn't see it at launch. I feel like we'll see it, sometime next year when it's available and when it's ready. Every company has one. Yeah, they have to make one. I feel like the key thing is having a good RPG. Not RPGs. Sony used to have level 1. They used to make like Dark Cloud and stuff for the PS2, but they don't have, I guess you can call Horizon Zero Dawn an RPG, action RPG. But you have to have like a good racing simulator. You have to have a good adventure game, like a decent first-person shooter game, like Killzone or Bungie with Halo. No, Yeah, even Nintendo has one. Yeah, Nintendo has Metroid, right? They have their platform Super Mario. Yeah, I feel like you have to have like a decent racing game, decent first person shooter game, decent action, adventure game, something like Uncharted or I'm trying to think of what Nintendo, Microsoft have. I'm interested to see like the games that they come up with when it comes to like exclusive content and title. Even Nintendo has one. What is Sony's? Splatoon. There you go, Sean. Sony has Killzone. Even though Guerrilla Games right now is focused on Horizon Zero Dawn, but Killzone used to be the jump off, man. Love Killzone, the PS2 and the PS3. Google have the money to have good games on the platform, so they better use it. Yeah, I think, Google has flexing muscles, man. They have flexing muscles for sure. What I'm interested in seeing is, are they going to be aggressive with like buying exclusive rights so two things, right? They can work on like buying exclusive rights to gaming content. Like for instance, will pay you to add this and this that no other platform. Like Destiny for PS4 used to have like, content before other consoles get them, and that's because Sony paid for that. I wonder if they'll do that, or if developers will choose to add Stadia features, because again it's exclusive, like stuff like instant access and all that stuff. Would they choose to add that to the games? And if they do decide to do that, then Stadia has an advantage because those features are not available on other platforms. Don't worry, Jade. I know. We gotta in Jade we trust, right? In Jade we trust. Yeah. I feel like she's a good candidate. But like he said in the interview, they just put her face on the first party studio this year. Meaning that they've been working on gathering exclusive before they even hired her. Which I don't know if that's accurate, because that means we should be seeing some exclusive at launch. But from what he's saying, we're not. So that's interesting. But yeah, she's a great pickup. But we'll see what she can do. For sure. Yeah, but guys, wow, this is almost a 2-hour podcast. But yeah, let me know. I'm gonna open this up for another like 5 minutes or so. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you guys, man. 15 of you guys strong. It's like 12:30 right now. I appreciate you guys just being here. Sorry that this was a rough kickoff. I don't know what happened, but we finally figured it out. She's a great studio builder for sure. I'm interested in seeing what she comes up with. I mean, she was the co-founder of the Assassin's Creed studio, and you guys see how great Ubisoft is doing with that franchise now. So yes, I'm excited. We have a second channel covering the Nintendo Switch as well. It's the Nintendo. There's a direct coming out tomorrow. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm a gamer, so I'm really pumped for that. If you guys didn't know, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, man. So I'm excited to see what they come up with over there. But I've just woken up. Yeah. What about Scarlet? Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Again, like, I'm a gamer. I'm gonna get the PS5, whatever they decide to call. I'm gonna get the Scarlet, but I'm more focused on Project X Cloud. I'm gonna definitely get that and cover that on this channel. I'm gonna be doing a lot of comparison videos when it comes to the way games run on there compared to the way games run on Geforce Now and the way games run on Google Stadia. And I'll give you guys my, honest overall opinion. Like, if a game runs better than that than Stadia, then I'm gonna say it. But if Stadia definitely crushes performance, which I think it will, over Project X Cloud, then I'm gonna talk about that too. Which is this is an exciting time, right? Something people not realizing is this is actually a new console launching this year that no one seems to be talking about, right? Stadia is actually a new console launching this year. Imagine like if PS5 was launching this year, or Project Xbox Scarlet. people will be talking about it. Like, not a lot of people talking about Stadia. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yep. Yeah. So it's wife is like, I need your attention, but yeah. But anyway, so again, just gonna open this up for like a good 3 more minutes, and then we'll. Okay. Yep. If COD was to come to PC and console, would have a wee bit of advantage. Who will Nintendo link up with? I think they talked about linking with Microsoft. Sony and Nintendo, I think, are gonna link with Microsoft. I think Microsoft is making that push, man, because I seriously think they see Stadia as a threat. But anyway, that's another topic for a different day. Digital Foundry said that up in the frame rate with lower input delays as well as yeah, you know what? So Xbox Project X Cloud is actually using the current Xbox in the cloud, right? So performance wise, right, they using the pretty much current gen system in the cloud, and we know that's not powerful, right? Whereas Stadia, like they showed at the GDC presentation, is faster than the PS4. So from what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong on here, they're not even using the Xbox One X. They're using the base model of the Xbox in the cloud. So Stadia is faster than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X combined. And that's what's in Google's server, in the cloud and Google servers. And Microsoft has the base model of the Xbox in the cloud with the project. So when it comes to performance, I think Stadia is gonna definitely one up it when it comes to how smooth things run, less input lag, and then that controller makes a huge difference. Like, just being real, the guy said it cuts latency by 60%. If that's accurate, if that's true, best believe that controller is gonna, the Stadia controller is gonna play a major role in reducing input lag, which is an advantage that it has over the Project X Cloud, because again, Xbox controller is not connecting to the Project X Cloud server. All right, yep. What's games 30? Google wants to end PlayStation and Xbox war, no competition. Yeah, it's yeah. But again, this is a cloud gaming channel, so I'm gonna cover both of them. But yeah, I think Stadia is gonna eat it for sure. Yeah, he said, yeah, it's a huge advantage, man. Not a lot of people are talking about that, but yeah, I gotta test that out though. We'll test it out for sure when it comes out. Alright, fellas, thank you for participating in this podcast. I try to do a podcast every other week. I'm taking bets on how many different controls will be made with built-in Wi-Fi. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. It's cool just getting to chat with you guys, getting to know you guys better. Again, I try to do a podcast every other week. And I try to game stream on this channel, whenever I can, probably like 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm waiting for that Gears of 4 or 5 to stream that on Geforce Now, if freaking they will get that game. Again, my biggest complaint with Geforce Now is how slow it takes for them to get games. But if they get it this week, I'll start streaming Gears on Geforce Now this week. Thanks for coming on, dude. No worries. Stadia 4 is really glad to just get to know you guys, share this with you guys, and just interact with you guys, man. It's always fun. That was great. Thanks. No problem. Spitfire. Love it. That's dope. Alright, fellas. Yeah, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Share this video too if you find it helpful and entertaining. and subscribe if you haven't yet. So every other week we'll cover podcasts on this channel. I fellas appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace.